Have you ever wished that you knew what your dog was trying to tell you? By listening to their barks and reading their body language, you can do just that. I've had multiple dogs in my life, and I've been able to interpret their body language and their barks to see what they're trying to tell me. By knowing what your dog is trying to tell you and its mood, it can be very beneficial for the both of you. Dogs can tell you when danger is near, and they can also tell you hello. My presentation is going to be about reading body language, facial expressions, and listening to their barks. The first thing we're going to look at is body language, which requires great attention to detail. You can look at the dog's tail to tell its mood by looking at the tail's position and movement. Whenever you see dogs and they're wagging their tail, you automatically think that they're happy and excited and friendly, but that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes if a dog is aggressive, they wag their tail in a certain way, and you just want to make sure that you're cautious of that. Also, you may assume that a dog who isn't wagging their tail isn't excited and should be avoided, but that's not necessarily the case either. Sometimes they're friendly, they're just in a neutral state. So first we're going to look at the natural tail. This is the tail that your dog will have, the position, when it's relaxed and calm and comfortable. Now keep in mind that all dogs have different shapes and sizes of tails, so they're not going to look the same. What I suggest you do is pay attention to your dog when it's comfortable and relaxed, and pay attention to the position of the tail, and that's going to be the natural state of the tail. Next is the happy tail. You can tell that your dog is very happy, say when you come home from work and they've been up in their crate all day and they're really excited to see you. You can tell by looking at their tail because they move it back and forth forcefully and sometimes in a circular motion. If the dog is nervous or scared, it will tuck its tail behind its hind legs. If a dog is alert, its tail will be held high. This is probably the most important tail position to be aware of, the aggressive tail. This is really important if you're at a dog park or have children around dogs. You want to know when the dog is feeling threatened. When they're trying to stand their ground or attack somebody, they will have the aggressive tail. So the aggressive tail will be up in the air, very stiff, and will wag slightly but rigidly. And another thing you can look at is the position of the dog's ears. If the dog's ears are up straight and facing forward, that means that your dog is attentive. When your dog is scared or feeling submissive, say if it did something bad, like it went to the bathroom in the house and they get all scared and huddled and put their ears back, those are the scared ears that they will have. The natural ears are for the dogs when the dog's feeling comfortable and relaxed. That's just their natural state of the ears, not perked up or pushed back, just relaxed. Now that we've talked about body language, I'd like to talk about facial expressions. Facial expressions will help you also understand what your dog is feeling. By looking at the mouth, you can actually learn a lot. According to the ASPCA, a relaxed and happy dog has a slightly open mouth or a closed mouth. Now, the picture of this dog's mouth is open with its tongue out, and that's usually after they've been playing, running around, or they're hot and they're trying to cool off, but this is still a relaxed and happy dog. The aggressive mouth is another important one you need to look for. The lips will be pulled back and the teeth will be showing. The yawn is for when the dog is tired, but it can also mean that it wants to be left alone. Another thing to look at your dog to see how it's feeling is the position of its head. Whenever dogs tilt their head from left to right, that means that they're curious about something that they're hearing. When they're craning their neck and they're looking up high with their head held high, that means that they're interested in probably something that you're doing or something that somebody else is doing. Now that we understand the visual communication that dogs have with us, we're going to combine that with listening to your dog. Barking is the dog's main way to communicate. They're not trying to annoy us or get on our nerves. They're just trying to talk to us. According to Canine Magazine, prolonged barks mean that your dog wants your attention. If you have your dog behind a baby gate or in a crate or left outside and you're not giving it some love, it's going to have those prolonged barks until it gets what it wants. The pain bark is more like a yelp. It's a sharp, single, high-pitched yelp that means that your dog is experiencing unexpected or sudden pain. The stutter bark is when your dog wants to play. That means the stutter bark, the regular bark is rough, and the stutter bark is a rough, and that means that your dog is feeling playful. A slow, low-pitched, continuous bark means that your dog is trying to defend you and says that danger is near. Translating communication cues for your dogs are very important and can help you to understand on a better level what your dog wants from you. You need to pay attention to the facial expressions, listen to the pitch of the bark, and watch the body language of your dog. Sometimes we want our dogs to stop barking, but the only way we can do that is to understand what they want from us. It's not really fair to get mad at them for barking when that's the only way that they can talk to us. So try to get to know your dog's unique body languages and the sounds of their barks, and just be aware of them and be patient with them, and you should do great. Thank you.